3, 2, 1.
Kevin Parker is a banker on a mission. He heads asset management for Deutsche Bank, and they paid for this, a carbon counter. It's a display that gives an up-to-the-minute reading of how much and how fast we're emitting greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, gases which most scientists agree are warming the planet. According to the scientists who did the math for the counter, human-created carbon dioxide is entering the atmosphere at the rate of 800 metric tons a second. The number on the billboard now tops 3.6 trillion. At today's rate of emissions, we could reach 4.4 trillion within 40 years. That number, most scientists say, would constitute dangerous human interference in the climate system, increased storms, drought, species extinction, and sea level rise. The counter was months in the making, and Deutsche Bank spent an estimate of over $1 million initially and will shell out hundreds of thousands of dollars per year for the prime billboard space alone. The carbon counter sits roughly 8 stories high, and just a block away is Madison Square Garden and Macy's. It is visible from nearly every street corner here, where about 500,000 commuters pass every day. But why exactly is Deutsche Bank investing so much money and energy in this enterprise? And what impact, if any, will it have on the public? Mark Fulton is the head of climate change investment for the bank.
It's a call to action for the policymakers, for the people to think about asking their governments to continue doing action on this topic.
The carbon counter was modeled on the debt clock, which tracks the nation's debt.
Many of us from the city and who have visited the city are familiar with the old deficit counter. It just had a profound impact on people of making them aware of the federal deficit.
That rang true for one New Yorker.
Yeah, the numbers remind me of the national debt. It's only now that people are really thinking about the national debt because everyone is really being impacted economically.
Still, the deficit has soared in recent years despite efforts to publicize it. And some people in New York are skeptical that a carbon counter will make much difference either.
A lot of people see that number and won't even know what it means, or won't even pay attention to that. Because that's how New Yorkers are. They just walk and go about their business.
I don't really want to see it because I kind of enjoy living in my ignorant bliss at times.
The scientists and economists who consulted with Deutsche Bank on the project had two prime motives: awareness and policy changes.
Thank you. I'm very pleased to be here today.
MIT's John Riley.
We'll need a cap and trade system that will create a price on carbon. But once that's in place, then we need institutions to bring investors with money to projects that can solve this problem. And that's the role that Deutsche Bank, I think, hopes to play. Obviously, they hope to make money out of that, but that's the way the market system works, by creating opportunities.
I have hopes that this counter will find its way into high school classrooms, into the discussion of the general public. If we start becoming more conscious of the fact that we're changing the planet, if we can get that into our heads, then this isn't Republican or Democrat, this is just how it is.
Deutsche Bank is considering installing similar carbon counters in other locations around the globe. But for now, it is waiting to see whether this billboard has any impact on greenhouse gas emissions.